Welcome to This Is Not Legal Advice. I am your host, TINLA, and today on Work It Wednesday, we are going to have a very special edition where it's going to also be a pick a card. So in our first deck, we have our Heart Chakra with the My Strange Tarot deck. We have our Third Eye Chakra with the Galactic Tarot. And our Solar Plexus Chakra with the Fifth Spirit Tarot. I almost said taco, but here we are. And before we get started, I just want to go over a couple things while you make your choices. Take a look and choose where the spirit guides you. We have recently come out of the new moon in Aries. That was April 17, 2026. And I'm not going to lie, it was a really harsh new moon. I don't know how many of you felt this way, but it just seemed like everybody was on edge. Everybody was just crabby and cranky and just really aggressive. And it also impacted, I feel like, my ability to communicate with spirit. I felt like I couldn't read the cards for several days, and it finally cleared out. But good news is we're going into new moon in Taurus on May 16th. That's at 4:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's going to transition us into a period of financial stability, secure position stability, and a nourishing lifestyle. So it's really going from an energy of doing to an energy of kind of stabilizing, which is nice. So if you've been feeling out of sorts and tired, that's not unusual. We also have Uranus that just went into Gemini on April 25th, and that's going to be through May 22nd of 2033. That's a period of rapid and unpredictable changes, new ideas. AI is going to be very big in that period, as it already is. But interesting facts, the last times that Uranus was in Gemini, we had the Revolutionary War here in the U.S., the Civil War in the U.S., and World War II. So quite a few significant events during periods where Uranus has been in Gemini in the recent past. So all that being said, we're talking about work this week, Work It Wednesday, whenever this finds you. Please feel free to choose if you'd like the Heart Chakra with the My Strange Tarot, the Third Eye Chakra with the Galactic Star, or the Fifth Spirit Tarot. We're going to be looking at the current energy, challenges, advantages, how to maximize your advantages, anything else the Spirit wants you to know, and some pro tips. So now is the time for you to go ahead and pause your video if you need to. I will put the links in the bio for all of the decks that I'm using today, and we will go ahead and get started. So the little timestamps will be there. Click on that, and if you feel like the one you picked doesn't match how you're feeling, feel free to choose another or go to a different reading. But that's all I got for now. I will see you very soon. Okay, Team 1, if you chose the Heart Chakra and the My Strange Tarot deck, welcome. This is for you. I'm going to go ahead and get a general vibe here for you, and this is using my Black Salt Oracle. Let's go ahead and see what the vibe is in terms of your reading, and let's focus on that Heart Chakra, if you will. All right, so what is the vibe for my viewers who are choosing pile 1, the Heart Chakra? All right, we've got the needle and thread. Let's see what the needle and thread is about. And if this resonates, this might be your pile. If not, feel free to choose another one. All right, needle and thread. Keywords, precision and mending. This is on page 80, so perhaps you were born in 1980 or 81, because that's the other page here, or perhaps the number 8, it means something significant to you. When needle and thread appears in a reading, it can indicate that a steady hand is needed, so this isn't the time to let nerves make you sloppy. It's careful, precise movements that will see you safely and merrily through your current situation. This card can speak to minute details, asking you to read the figurative fine print and to leave no I undotted or T uncrossed. As a needle pulls thread, this card can also denote leading a person or situation to a desired destination or outcome. Alternatively, needle and thread can speak to metaphorical suture work, asking you to stitch or mend what you're able to promote healing and unity, or at least to preserve functionality. It can denote a need for alterations and suggest that you make adjustments for the sake of practicality. So it's obviously it's possible that with respect to a Work It Wednesday reading that you are in the medical field, that's clear, or perhaps you are a seamstress or some kind of tailor. All those things are possible, but it is also potentially a energy of needing a little bit of adjustments, some tweaks in your career life, maybe not substantial change, but just a little bit of fine tuning. So if you're feeling like that's where you're at, like you're generally happy with where you are career-wise, but maybe looking for just that little, like, how can I get ahead? What is it I'm missing? Is there something like a little bit more I can do? This may very well be your reading. So if that resonates with you, let's go ahead and proceed. And if not, then, you know, like, again, you can either continue watching and see if it continues to resonate, or maybe it resonates further, or perhaps another pile is yours. So let us take a look, my needle and thread folks. And by the way, I think it's interesting that I kind of stumbled over some of my words. Now that could be a product of my reading faster than I can speak and trying to even that out, or it could be more indicative of your need for perfectionism. You know, maybe the universe is telling you that perfection is the enemy of good. And sometimes it's just better to get the thing done than to try and aim for perfection. I will tell you, I'm the first one to you know, have a hard time with that, but this is about you, so let's find out. What is the current energy for my pile 1 heart chakra people? I also think it's interesting that you heart chakra folks, you know, chose the heart chakra, because it clearly says to me that your heart is in what you're doing. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like you're not generally upset with your career choice or your career path. You're just looking to fine tune, excel, do a little bit more, right? So let's find out, what is it that is the current energy for my pile 1 heart chakra people. Okay, we got 3 cards here. Let's see what they're about. We've got our 3 of Wands, 5 of Cups, and Ace of Pentacles. All right, so what this is telling me, heart chakra team, is that you are very much focused on your future. And what I'm feeling is it's almost to the detriment of the now. You're so focused on where you're going and how can I get there. Am I leaving 5 of Cups anything in the past? Am I regretting anything? Am I missing an opportunity? That you're not really focused on the now. You're not really focused on this Ace of Pentacles, what's right in front of you energy. So when it comes to your Work It Wednesday feelings, you know, you're just in a sense right now of really, again, looking toward that future and making sure, like I said, you're like doubting yourself. You're doubting yourself, and maybe what you're doing you feel like is not good enough. It's not up to your standards. It's, you know, you're regretting maybe there's been a mistake recently, or what you would perceive as a mistake. Maybe you even got written up about something or got a pip or something like that. I don't know that that's the case, because I'm getting this is very Virgo energy, very much, you know, perfectionistic, Capricornian energy, where you're just a go-getter and you are very, very precise on how you want to do things. But please remember to not ignore the Ace of Pentacles, the blessings before you. That's kind of your current energy is, you know, don't get so focused here in the future that you miss out on this. That's really what I'm getting for your current energy. And I think you know that. I think that's part of the problem, is that you actually kind of blame yourself for, like, knowing that you know that, and you're like, damn it, like, I know I could do better, but I also should know that I should be happy with what I am, and now I'm failing at being happy with what I am, and so now I'm really a failure. And it's kind of this like perpetual cycle of, I could be doing more to do less to do more. And what I'm hearing is, like, calm down. But let's see. What are the challenges that you're facing, my beautiful heart chakra people? What are the challenges that you are facing? All right, let's take a look. We got the Empress in reverse. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. And let me get one more. One more, please. What are the challenges that my heart chakra folks are facing? One more on that, please. The 7 of Swords. I'm not even surprised. So with the Empress in reverse, what we're dealing with here is almost a distorted self-image, where you actually are bringing a lot of things to the table. You're bringing your best energy. I'm feeling like you're very supportive. You're very involved. You're putting your best effort out there, and you are just, you're not just doing it because you want to do it. Like, you enjoy your career. You really do enjoy the choices you've made, where you are in terms of, like, for example, if you wanted to be a nurse, well, you're a nurse. If you wanted to be a lawyer, you're a lawyer. If you wanted to, you know, whatever, be a chef, be a chef. But it's almost like you're feeling out of sorts, where it's like, are you doing enough to build to the future of that? I think there's a deep concern here where you're like, you're failing to meet muster, even though I know I don't believe that's true. I feel like you are very much successful in what it is that you do, but your perception of yourself is the challenge here, and not seeing yourself as good enough. And with this Queen of Pentacles teamed up with the 5 of Cups, it's very much like you want more praise is what I'm saying. Like, because you're not necessarily getting as much praise as you want in what you're doing, or maybe not as much financial success in what you're doing, it's almost like you're wondering, did I make a mistake? Am I, I'm regretting kind of what I did. Maybe like, even though here I'm telling you, yes, you are in the career of your choosing, but you're losing some sense of that because you feel like you're not necessarily getting the financial stability or recognition that you want. And now you're starting to question whether that makes sense. And the truth of the matter is, with this Ace of Pentacles, that you're on the verge of something great, but you don't see it coming with the Seven of Swords. It's almost like you're about to get recognized or promoted within your career, and you just don't see it coming because you're so focused on, can I do my job better? What am I missing? Why am I not getting compensated appropriately? Why am I not getting the recognition I deserve? So those are your challenges, is really overcoming some of that self-doubt and feeling like that self-doubt is being perpetuated by this lack of monetary recognition or general recognition, and some of the things behind the scenes you don't see in terms of recognition of your contributions here. So what are the advantages? I mean, those came right out. I'm just going to go with it. We've got the Two of Wands. You've got the Death card, Death Rebirth, and the Lovers. And I think this is actually really fitting because both the Lovers and the Two of Pentacles speak to a choice. This is telling me you have a lot of options. And not only do you have a lot of options, for example, like, again, I'll just use the nursing example. You could be a nurse at, let's say, hospital A, and you're debating, do I go over to hospital B? Perhaps you look at that as more of like a positive change for any number of reasons: higher pay, closer proximity to your home, or better scheduling. But you do have options, is what I'm feeling. There are options there. You could say goodbye to what it is you're dealing with now, but you're not changing completely. Because again, you have choices, but it's like the choices are between two of the same things. You're not completely changing everything. You're not going from like being a nurse to being a philosopher or a professor or something like that. You are still in the same profession. You just have options within that profession. So any change that you're experiencing is within that. And it's telling me you're in high demand. So when we talk about your advantages, you are very much in high demand. You have the ability, if you wanted to, for example, to shift from, let's say, one company to the other. If you are a lawyer, you might want to switch from one firm to the other. Not because you have to, but because you might see as a better opportunity over here. So again, there's a possibility for change in your mind, but it's not truly a change. Like, again, you're going from being a lawyer to being a ballerina. It's the same thing, but like slightly different, like pros and cons on both sides. So the advantage is, though, you're in demand. Like, you're good at what you do and you're in demand. So how do we maximize those? My heart chakra folks, how do we maximize this advantage? What do you do about that? If you are, in fact, getting a real sense of like, maybe you've been recruited or headhunted, and you're starting to wonder, like, maybe I should take a look at that. Maybe I should really give that serious consideration. So how do we take advantage of that? You got the Wheel of Fortune, the Knight of Cups, and the Three of Cups. So what I'm seeing with this is, I hate to say it, but it's like more of the same. What I'm feeling is, from Spirit telling you, is you've got an opportunity here with the Wheel of Fortune. You can make a change. There are other opportunities, not just philosophically other opportunities, but actual opportunities. Like I'm saying, you have a recruiter, someone who's pursuing you, alternative job options. So that is there. You could make that change if you want to, but your question is, okay, what's going to make me the happiest? Which of these options are going to be the happiest? Do I stay where I am, where I maybe have a reputation, I have coworkers that I like, I have really ingrained myself into the culture of my job? So, you're really debating it. I mean, it's there, but then you've got this Three of Cups, which is like, look, I also want to enjoy what I do. And maybe there's a reason I am looking for something different. So what I'm feeling here is, with respect to how do you maximize this advantage that you have, is honestly, take the leap. When you've got the chance, there's a reason you're looking for the chance. There's a reason that you're even considering this. If you were truly, I think, fulfilled in whatever it is that you're doing, where you're doing it, you would not even be worried about this Wheel of Fortune energy, this change. So you are looking at something, and I'm feeling like with this Knight of Cups here, like don't get caught up in your head in it. Don't really focus too much on it. You have this, and you know that you're kind of looking over to this Wheel of Fortune, like that's really what you want. That's where your heart is. And you want to celebrate this. Like, you're feeling good about it, but there's something like holding you back. And I want to ask, and this is going to go under what I would call my anything else to know. So Spirit, what is it that would be holding this person back from embracing this new opportunity and reveling in that? What would it be that's holding this person back, my beautiful collective that is in the heart chakra energy? Let's see. Okay. Judgment. And the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Anything else holding you back, my heart chakra folks? Okay, yeah. All right. So, you know, Spirit's telling me, okay, with the Judgment card, it's almost like you're feeling like it's going to be the same thing, different place. You know, you're optimistic that, yeah, this will be a brand new start. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be something new and different, but it could also be more of the same. And I'm seeing with this Judgment card in particular, it's like you're on the phone with your prior coworkers, like, oh man, I can't believe I left this job. These people suck over here, and I thought it was gonna be so great, but it actually is a lot of work, or it's not really my cup of tea, and I feel like I'm not being challenged, or I'm being nitpicked to death over here. And you know, you, I think, very much enjoy this, I don't want to say a single lifestyle with the Nine of Pentacles, but you are self-sufficient. And, you know, the challenge would be, can you maintain that self-sufficiency in this new environment? You know, maybe you were promised, for example, you know, you would be hired at a certain rate and you'd be guaranteed a raise after 6 months, but perhaps that is not actually what is shaking out. And so you're worried, I think, a little bit about, look, am I uprooting my life? Am I engaging in this tower moment? Am I just really shaking it up and with this Wheel of Fortune and making a change for what? I mean, there's even a dollar bill here falling off the top there. You see that? It's like is it worth throwing away this money for what you have on the horizon? I mean, that's, you know, what we're dealing with here is, I'm not saying it's impossible. I mean, the new opportunity may be great, but there's also some really serious things to consider in terms of, you know, is this dissatisfaction you feel with your current employment really rooted in genuine dissatisfaction? Or is it you feel like perhaps you aren't meeting your own standards and are tired of that? Or maybe you're being nitpicked by a boss where you feel like, I got to get out of here because they're not appreciating me for who I am. But that doesn't mean that the grass is greener. And maybe that's why we have some of this green coloration. The grass is not necessarily greener on the other side. Where is your heart at? Right? What is your heart in? And there's more to career than just the money you make, right? There's the coworkers, there's the environment. You know, there's always room for improvement. And what I'm feeling is like, don't run away because you're not perfect at what it is you're doing just yet. That boss that may be kind of, like I said, nitpicking you and making you feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be here, I need to just leave and get another job. That actual nitpicking may be very valuable mentorship for you, where you can really just home in, drill down, and get some new skills that you maybe weren't anticipating. So look, we got the sun here on the bottom of the deck. So I think, you know, at the end of this all, you're going to be happy. You know, you're going to be climbing that ladder to happiness. You're going to be advancing in your career one way or another, whether you decide to go ahead and take the route of pursuing that other opportunity or staying with where you are and shaking things up a bit. But what I'm getting is a very big sense of caution, which is, don't confuse your need for perfection with a need to change jobs. Just because, again, you are not necessarily meeting, you know, you're getting maybe a 4 out of 5 on your review instead of a 5 out of 5 on your review. That doesn't mean that you're bad at your job or that you can't improve or that you won't be happy there. You might, again, have other features like coworkers and a great schedule that you like. Like, there are other things there that more than make up for that. And with a little extra effort, maybe some mentorship from somebody you view as a supervisor, that may actually enhance that experience. And you don't necessarily need to leave to do that. So let's take a look at the advice from Spirit. I'm going to start here with this Chubby Witch's Night In, I think it's called. So this is sort of a, let's see how you can sort of relax in the background and let, you know, let Spirit speak to you and kind of guide you, whether through meditation or journaling or really just thinking about things. What can you do to kind of detach in a way that will help you make the best decision for my heart chakra folks? What can we do here? What is the advice? I'm getting you're very hesitant to relax. I'm getting like super strong Virgo energy, maybe even Capricorn. Like, what can you do to relax? And you're like, I don't want to relax, TINLA. I don't want to do that. I got to work. And if I don't work, what's going to happen to me? But eventually we get relaxation. And we got number 23, midnight pizza. We love a good midnight pizza. It's kind of like Midnight Waffle House, but a little less violent. So let's take a look here. No offense to my Waffle House people. Y'all are awesome, and you are coming in clutch on a Saturday night. All right, number 23. It says, oh, look, it's time to treat yourself. Feel no guilt. Oh, what did I just say about feeling guilty? Don't feel guilty about taking a break. As you order that extra large pizza, for one, it's okay not to share sometimes. Make that tattoo appointment, hit submit on the lingerie subscription, or do whatever else you might think is too much of a silly and frivolous expense. If you want it, and it wouldn't send you into financial ruin, gotta look out for yourself, go ahead and make it yours. Deeper than that, though, this card is about saying F you to the rules you think you have to live by, but definitely don't have to. Again, that perfectionism, right? If you're in a situation or even a relationship where you feel like you constantly have to hide who you are and what you believe in, or even pretend to be a completely different person in order to keep their love and or respect, you need to cut that stuff out right now, like right now. I just want to be clear about something, though. It's okay if you don't act exactly the same with every person in your life. That doesn't make you fake or anything like that. For example, you might feel freer to be yourself when you're around your best friend than when you're with a coworker you barely know. The context and comfort levels are totally different, so it's natural that you would behave a little or a lot differently. Magical tip. I know you noticed that massive jar of pickles in the fridge. Did you realize that pickles can be eaten to magically increase your prosperity and abundance? Now they just became all the more delicious. And just personally, I would say probably not bread and butter pickles. Don't come after me in the comments. I just prefer the dill. All right, money magic. This is going to be our last piece of guidance here for my heart chakra people on our Work It Wednesday. Thank you for joining me again. I'm your host, TINLA. This is not legal advice. And I encourage you to call me up or book a private reading with me on my website, tinlatarot.com. I've had a lot of those private readings, also kept me busy. Okay. I have permission to do what I love and be a huge success. I am all I need to be successful. So let's see. Oh, Lordy. They put these all out of order. All in their own way to be. Holy cannoli. Okay. I have permission. Let's see. Where is that? I have permission to do what I love. Page 124. Okay. Embracing the affirmation. Success and fulfillment can coexist, and you are worthy of both. Free yourself from the desire to seek permission to do what lights your soul on fire and to be wildly successful. The conditioning that you've had around asking and waiting for that, the conditioning that you've had around asking and waiting for permission has been keeping you stalled. You no longer give any power to anyone else, and you're not going to be held back from pursuing your passions. You're done struggling with guilt or self-doubt when it comes to combining your passions with financial success. You deserve to thrive doing what you love. You may have been raised believing that you need to do work that sucks the joy out of life and can only pursue things that bring you joy when you've earned it. While it's true that there are responsibilities in life that require you to do things that aren't fun, it doesn't mean that you can't create a shift in your life where you do more of what you love successfully. Your money magic mantra is inviting you to grant yourself full permission to follow your heart, pursue your dreams, and know that success is not only possible, but also a natural outcome of aligning with your purpose. By speaking these words with passion and intentionality, you remove any self-imposed limitations that may block your path to financial abundance. When you wholeheartedly believe that you're allowed to succeed in what brings you joy, you open up new avenues for wealth and prosperity to flow into your life. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier here is, stop restricting yourself to, I have to do this thing exactly correctly right, or I'm a failure. This is, you know what? You can do it like 97% right and enjoy it, and that's totally worth it too. You have permission to be happy. Okay, then we have, I am all I need to be successful. Oh, look, I just opened it. You're so capable, resourceful, and worthy, you no longer sell yourself short. You already possess so much that you need to succeed existing with you already. Your talents, knowledge, intuition, and inner resources. This money magic mantra empowers you to trust your abilities and release the need for external validation or approval. It shifts the focus from seeking success outside of yourself to recognizing that you already have the qualities and skills necessary to achieve your financial and personal goals. By working with these powerful words, you'll cultivate a mindset of self-reliance, confidence, and resilience, which are essential for manifesting money and abundance. These words of power help dismantle self-doubt, comparison, and feelings of inadequacy, which often hinder success. When you affirm that you are all you need, you align yourself with the energy of self-sufficiency and inner strength. This alignment enables you to attract opportunities and prosperity because you believe in your ability to seize and capitalize on them. Success reflects your trust and confidence in yourself rather than a distant goal that is dependent on external factors. Remember, we talked about the external factors and living in the now and enjoying the now and what you're doing now instead of just constantly being so focused on where are we going next. So the energy I'm getting for you, my heart chakra people, is really very much follow your heart. Not follow your nose, that's Fruit Loops and a whole different thing. But follow your heart, right? You can be happy if you stop putting so much pressure on yourself to just constantly be moving and doing and all that. You deserve to be happy. You don't need to be perfect, as you might call it, to achieve. And so maybe if you have that other job opportunity, you may want to really consider, does this make sense for me in terms of who I am holistically? Or is this just another thing that I'm doing to try to get ahead in whatever rat race I believe I'm in? So follow your heart. You can be happy. Thank you for joining me. Like, subscribe, share, and I will see you next week. Hello, pile 2, my beautiful third eye chakra folks. If you chose the third eye chakra and the Galactic Star Tarot, this is your reading. So let's go ahead and get started here. And before we get to the actual tarot, I'm going to go ahead and pull a Black Salt Oracle that will tell us maybe kind of what the theme is going on with you on this Work It Wednesday. Again, I am TINLA. This is not legal advice. Feel free to look at my website, which is tinlatarot.com, where you can book a reading for yourself or a friend, whatever you'd like. Anyway, let's see what we got going on with our Black Salt. Okay, we got a couple here, actually. We've got the Door Knocker and the Tome and Quill. Don't you just love those beautiful, like, holographic stuff? Anyway, I'm a sucker for shiny things. So anyway, here we go. The Tome and Quill. Tome and Quill. All right. Keywords: record and study. Page 114. When Tome and Quill appears in a reading, it can ask you to keep a record of the present, such as through journaling. It can denote creative writing. It can ask you to commit a moment to memory, as it may become significant in future years. It can also urge you to keep literal receipts in addition to figurative receipts, as you might need them for anything from returning purchases to squashing challenges. Tome and Quill can denote that research is needed before you can understand a matter. It can urge you to look to history in your moments of uncertainty, allowing events of the past to inform you to how to navigate the present. It can denote places of learning and educational materials. It can suggest reading a room or a situation. It can also represent secrets and arcane knowledge. Okay. And a Door Knocker. And we'll see how this all kind of relates. I bet it ties in, because I'm getting a really creative energy just out of the gate from my third eye chakra folks. All right, keywords for Door Knocker: petition and visitor. When Door Knocker appears in a reading, it can represent a formal request or a summons, if you will. It's not uncommon for this card to appear if the universe is asking something of you, or if individuals in your life are petitioning you to show up for them in some way. That said, it can also denote petitions of your own and learning to ask for what you want in life. At other times, Door Knocker can represent visitations. It can indicate the arrival of callers or house guests, whether you were expecting them or not. It can indicate non-human visitations or arrivals, such as parcels from the post, wild animals, weather events, or even energetic shifts that figuratively knock at your door. Lastly, this card can indicate questions or calls being answered. I know I personally have had my ringer on silent since 1997, but that's just me. So I also want to say, I feel compelled to say that with the Door Knocker, I'm thinking of that movie Labyrinth from a long time ago, where, you know, she came across two different doors, and one door said, I can only tell the truth, and the other one said, it can only lie, and it was a whole logical game. So it seems to me like maybe you're really trying to figure out how some new events in your life might shake out, and I'm getting that the universe is saying, well, you've seen this before, you've been here before, how do we deal with this? That's just my out of the gate sensation on that. So I know it's an obtuse sort of reference, but if you know, you know. So with that being said, I'm going to ask Spirit some questions on the current energy you have in terms of your career, whatever that may be. So let us find out. What is the current energy for my folks at the third eye chakra? What is the current energy? Let's find out. Current energy, please. Okay, we've got, looks like 2 cards. I'm just going to aim for 3. So let's get one more on that one, please. There we go. The 10 of Discs, the Knight of Cups, and Justice. Okay, my dear, so what I'm seeing here is you are somebody that is very much, you're very balanced in your current energy. Like, you are in a career where you feel like you're doing good, you're balancing out sort of your career as well as your personal life and other factors in your life, such as like a time with friends or time with hobbies, perhaps going to the gym, those sorts of things. And you haven't lost your sense of love. Like, you're still a very loving, passionate person. You're still giving to the people in your life with a sense of love, or even pursuing love, even if you're busy with work. You could, of course, with the Justice card, be a Libra, like myself. You could be a judge, a lawyer, anybody in the legal field, an officer of the law, that sort of thing, politician even. That's just a side note. It's not necessary, but just a side. With the Knight of Cups, that's water energy. So there's very much an emotional component to you. So I'm getting there's like a very much an emotional fulfillment to whatever it is you're doing for your career right now. And not only is there an emotional fulfillment with this 10 of Discs, which is your 10 of Pentacles typically, you're also getting a very stabilized home environment in this situation, which honestly makes me wonder, why are you here? Like, I'm glad you're here. Don't get me wrong. Like, subscribe, share, all that business. But, like, you have it all. Your total package. You know, you're very retrospective. You're journaling. You're doing the work. You're really trying to evaluate your life and your career and how that affects you. But you've got it. You've got balance. You've got love. You're fulfilled in your heart. And you've got the stability in your home life, a future. I'm seeing like you've got your IRA all set up. You know, you are ready to go here. And so I'm sorry, I'm going to deviate from what I was going to ask originally and say, why are my beautiful third eye chakra people here? Why are you even here? Queen of Wands. Because there's that little je ne sais quoi missing. Almost like this is going so well that it's a little boring. Like, why am I doing this? It's almost like you've been in the same job for a long while, or things have not really changed. And maybe you didn't see yourself being in this position for as long as you've been. You're a little like fiery. You've been almost containing that fire, that passion within you. And you want to know, like, what else is there? Like, I know I have all this and I'm grateful for all this. This is all amazing. But what did I journal about before? Like, when I went into this career, what was it that I really dreamed and hoped it would look like? What opportunities are knocking at my door? Is there something totally different that I could have that might fulfill me or bring some drama and action to my life? And what's interesting here is you also have air, water, earth, and fire. So you are very much a balanced person, and I'm feeling like you almost feel guilty about even thinking about doing something different because you have all these great things. It's not that you're miserable. You're actually doing really well. So, I feel like there's a sense in your heart of like, what's wrong with me? Why would I even ask for this? Like, it doesn't even matter. But there's something inside you that's craving something more. And I want to find out what that is. So let's find out what the challenges are that you're facing, although I have some suspicions. Spirit, what are the challenges that my lovely, third eye chakra folks are dealing with here? Pile 2 folks. What are you all dealing with as challenges? I suspect there's going to be something to do with guilt, obligations, maybe a Hierophant in there. I'm not sure. But let's see. One more, please. One more, please. I want the challenges here. Okay, thank you, Spirit. The High Priestess, the 4 of Wands, and the Ace of Cups. I mean, look at this. It's like, you know what? You're so happy. I understand why you're a little disgusted with yourself, okay? You got Ace of Cups. You are overflowing with love. And that's a challenge. I asked about the challenges. You're overflowing with love. And maybe you're wondering, do the people in my life, like with the 4 of Wands, like you're providing a really good life for people around you, your family, your friends, you're having a great time, you're traveling. But I think you're kind of wondering, do these people in my life only love me for what I provide? Do they see me for who I am inside? I think there's somebody inside you. With the Queen of Wands and the High Priestess, it's very much an energy of spirituality. It's an energy of mystery and action. And I think like there's an aspect of you that just really wants to do something totally different. And I think you're wondering from, again, this challenging point of view, this outpouring of love, all these good things that I get from people, is this really because of who I am and deep inside? Or is this because, I provide stability and I show love and I've got this 4 of Wands situation where we're all having a great time and I've been in this maybe committed relationship? I mean, does my spouse only care about me because of all these things that I bring? I think those are some of the questions I ask, you're asking yourself, and also, does this person, does my family like really understand me and who I am truly, deeply within? And those are serious questions and they warrant investigation. I don't think you're wrong to ask those questions, and I don't think you should be guilted out of asking them and seeking those solutions. So how do we maximize the skills of my, my third eye chakra folks. Like, how do we maximize things to, achieve the highest possible result? Like, what is going on here? Thank you, Spirit. Look, the Sun. I'm seeing pursue your own happiness, even if it looks a little weird. And I'll show you that card better in a second. Judgment. Okay, I got it. One more, please. Okay, and the King of Wands. Look, matching up with your Queen of Wands. So what I'm feeling here, again, is to maximize what you're looking to get here. The reason you're here, the reason you're even asking these questions, the reason you're listening to my reading today is because you want to be happy. You want to be happy at a deeper level than you are now, even if that looks strange. Even if, and I say that because, look, that's a little strange, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you want something new, something different that can make you happy, that brings you true joy. And I'm not saying go off and, quit your job. What I think I'm hearing Spirit say here is, you can do the job that you currently love, that provides for you and your family, but also don't let that be all you are. You might have some gifts, some talents in other areas of your life that you're not exploring because you're so fixated on some of these sort of standard issue things that you've got going on. Oh, okay. I was going to ask, I'll ask this then. Another advantage, please. Six of Wands. Look, I do think you have support. So I'll come to that in a second. But the Judgment here says to me, especially with this tome and quill, I would bet that if you go back in your journals into high school, college, younger years, bottom line, you would see sort of fantastical hopes, dreams, things you want to achieve. Maybe it's writing a book, or, taking some kind of like sailing lessons, or I don't know, just any number of non-traditional routes for success and career enjoyment. Maybe you want to also become a professor and teach, some obscure subject, or study some obscure subject. There's things that I think if you look back in your journaling, you'll see like, oh, I wish I'm thinking of like a kid that says, I want to be a fire truck when I grow up. Please, you can't be a fire truck. You are not a transformer. I'm sorry to break that to you. But you can do different things. If you wanted to perhaps be a chef or a dancer, you could resurrect with this Judgment card some of those dreams. You don't have to give up on all your career work, but you could maybe take up that as a hobby. You could take some classes. You could indulge some of these things that you wanted and seek something that other people might think is a little odd for you, but brings you joy. With this King of Wands, it's sort of, you're going to act on things and you're going to have no shame about it. You're going to embrace that. You're going to go from this High Priestess energy of hiding sort of these untraditional, again, inconsistently with your current career. You go from hiding that to like really embracing that. And that's also, again, your pair of the Queen of Wands. So what I'm seeing is you can have this connection between where you are now and where you'd like to be, where your strengths are. So it's telling me that you really have a good chance right now to reach out and get to some of these things that you may have left behind as like too fanciful. Again, if you wanted to be a dancer, or maybe like a ballroom dancer, like for example, a professional ballroom dancer, or perhaps you wanted to get into some, I don't mean to encourage gambling, I'm not trying to do that, but like maybe you wanted to go be a professional poker player. Talk to your family, talk to your financial consultants first. But my point is, if there's something sort of out of the ordinary that is inconsistent with this sort of, I hate to say it, but like almost like boring status quo life that you're living, but you've always kind of wanted to do it, what I'm seeing is you can do that. And with the Six of Wands, it's going to go well for you. I think it's going to support and strengthen where you are now. So it's almost like by indulging in these things you might consider frivolous or pipe dreams that you had in the past, by doing those things, it's actually doing this like positive feedback loop. And also benefiting your quote-unquote normal job, your day-to-day. You're really doing yourself a disservice in a sense by shoving this down here, by ignoring the call, if you will, of the younger you. So let's see if there's anything else the universe wants you to know, my third eye folks, outside of, knowing that my website is tinlatarot.com and booking an individual reading, but, shameless plug. Okay. Three of Wands. Look at that. Beautiful future. The universe is telling you, charge ahead. You can do this. The things you want in the future are there. Look, we also got, by the way, bottom of the deck, bottom of this card, it looks like Australia to me. Maybe you've always dreamed of traveling to Australia, or maybe doing like a safari, going in the steps of Steve Irwin on that. Seven of Discs, that is the Seven of Pentacles. It's starting something new. Going for a new venture, doing something just out of the ordinary, something different, planting some new seeds, maybe literally planting some new seeds. Maybe you wanted to explore you know, gardening or farming. The Hanged Man, you know, the advice from the universe is change your perspective. You know, instead of seeing these, I hate to say it, hobbies or these other options as, you know, frivolous or unnecessary, these are actually things that will help you, believe it or not, build a future and again, sort of positive feedback loop and build on the things you've already got going. One more, please. Thank you. The Hermit. Yeah, you're seeing the light. You know, these things that I'm talking about are things you have considered for a very long time that have simply not come to pass, but don't give up on them. So let me find out here from my Chubby Witches Night In deck what it is that Spirit might advise you to do with respect to what I'm seeing here very clearly is, you know, I'm seeing you, my pile 2, my third eye chakra folks, I'm seeing you as people who are in tune with who you are. You know who you are. You've got something else going on inside you beyond what's obvious. You've got something more than just, you know, the career. And I don't mean to say it just like, oh, I'm diminishing it. You've got a good life, but there's like there's a little something that's missing. And what's missing is something that you have known for a long time you wanted to try. And so I'm getting a sense of the universe saying, try it. I think you'll be surprised in a positive way. I really do. Give me a second here. Any advice on this for my pile 2 third eye chakra folks? All right. All right. It says here, number 8, have a little heart to heart. I'd also like to point out that 8 in most decks is the strength card, but in some decks it can also be the justice card, which is where we started. So what I'm getting just out of the gate with this is be strong, of course, and try. Don't let anybody like kind of poo-poo what you have in mind, but also, you know, you're still yourself. You know, just because you have this justice here, you can still have it here. You know, you can still have that happiness living in that dream and also not disregard where you're at right now. So number 8, yap, yap, yap. Yap, yap, yap. Okay. It says, sometimes a safe space is not a literal place you go to, but a person who makes you feel perfectly at peace even among chaos. This doesn't necessarily have to be someone you have a romantic relationship with, but if you pull this card, then that most likely is the case. Although there are cards in this deck that are a little more fitting, don't rule out the possibility of it being a platonic friendship with a family member or friend or even yourself. So what I'm feeling with this is, believe it or not, like I think once you own that truth for yourself, like you come to that sort of place of acceptance here and owning and accepting this change of perspective, you're going to find, I think, much to your surprise, that friends, family, others around you will actually support that. I think you're a little worried, like I'm getting very much a masculine energy where it's like, oh, I've got to protect and provide, and nobody's going to understand like why I got to go and, you know, take, I don't know, Saturday mornings off to go fishing for 4 hours or some such business. If that brings you peace, if that's something that you just really have enjoyed your whole life, you know, I think you'll find that the people around you aren't going to mock you for it, but they're going to support you. Maybe more than you think. You know, you don't have to be so guarded all the time. All right, here we go. I trust my ability to manifest. Let's see what that card is about from the universe. I trust my ability to manifest. Basically, I'm feeling just out of the gate with that. You know, just you can make it happen. I trust my ability to manifest. Oh, money. Oh, sorry, I didn't even see that. Hold on. I trust my ability to manifest money. Sorry, it's like the dark font right there. I didn't see that. Okay, that's on page 219. It's actually the last card in the deck here. So it's almost like I'm feeling it's like the final piece of the puzzle, right? Like I told you before, it's almost like you have so much going for you. You're just missing that little extra je ne sais quoi. And that's what I'm saying. It's like that little extra that would make you happy. You know, that end of the cycle, that little extra bit. Anyway, trust yourself. 2 simple words, and when embodied, they have such positive effects on your life. You're more powerful and capable than you give yourself credit for. Empower yourself to believe in your own skills, magic, and abilities to attract wealth and financial success. This money magic mantra helps remove doubt, fear, and uncertainty, replacing them with confidence and assurance that you have what it takes to create abundance in your life. Trusting in your abilities and skills is essential when manifesting money because your confidence is the foundation of your magnetic power. When you believe in what you bring to the cosmic table, you naturally align with opportunities that reflect your worth. Your talents, experience, skills, perspectives, creativity, and unique voice are all valuable tools in money manifestation. And I want to pause there because that's what I was saying here from Spirit. is, you know, these unique talents and creative endeavors and things like that are going to contribute to the monetary manifestation we saw that you've got going on here. Doubt creates energetic resistance, while self-trust opens the door to receiving. Manifestation isn't just about wishing for wealth, it's about knowing deep down that you have what it takes to create it. Your skills are not accidents, they're tools. And when you use them with purpose and belief, the universe responds with abundance. Unshakable confidence helps you take inspired action toward your financial goals with certainty rather than hesitation. By affirming that you trust in your money manifesting abilities, you open yourself to opportunities and remove self-imposed limitations. This shift in belief allows you to act confidently, knowing that the steps you take will lead to greater financial success and abundance. So, you know, I find that all to be very consistent here. I'm feeling from the spirit, you know, you've got this, you're already good. Like this is just about minor tweaks. This is just about embracing, you know, the you that maybe you forgot you were, you know, the dreamer, the fanciful one, you know, the one who sees opportunity around every corner. Maybe it's even a new business idea that you're taking advantage of. I'm not saying give up on your current career or anything like that. I don't think Spirit's suggesting that. But what I do see is, you know, when you're in alignment with the things that you've loved and dreamed about your whole life, it will enhance your ability to succeed. So that's what I have for you, my beautiful pile 2 third eye chakra folks. I wish you all the best. You've got this, and congratulations on the good life you've already built. Bye-bye. Okay, pile 3, my solar plexus chakra folks. Let's get started. I'm already getting a vibe that you are the wild children of these 3 piles in the best possible way. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is get one of our black salt oracles to give a theme for the reading, and then we're going to get into tarot to get some questions answered as to this Work It Wednesday. Thank you for joining me. My name is TINLA, as I indicated, and you can get a private reading with me if you'd like at tinlatarot.com. I've been doing a lot of those lately, and I am so happy to do those. So anyway, let's talk solar plexus, people. All right, we got 2 cards that came out right here. We got lighter and makeup brush. What did I tell you? I'm just getting wild child, like fun times. I'm just getting like, I love you guys. All right, not that I don't love my other piles. I love all my children equally. All right, makeup brush. Okay, transform, enhance. When the makeup brush appears in a reading, it can represent transformation. And this isn't limited to the realm of the aesthetic. It can symbolize deeply personal growth or evolution. It can speak to personal style and how you choose to present yourself to the world. It can speak to beauty, asking you to find and appreciate in yourself, others, and the world around you. It can also denote confidence and artistry. That's what I was feeling like with the wild children here. It's on page 66, by the way. Look that up. In another light, makeup brush can denote enhancement, urging you to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. It didn't say that, I did. It can suggest that something has been exaggerated beyond its truth and urge you to take it with a grain of salt and a margarita. Again, that's just me. I'm feeling a little silly. Maybe y'all are just really silly, good time people. It can also indicate that something is not as deep as it seems and therefore shouldn't be given too much emotional weight or be made overly complicated. All right, let's light it up with the lighter here. Keywords are illuminate and burn. When lighter appears in a reading, it can represent a need for light, a need for clarification before you proceed in a course of action. It can ask you to strike a match to see a situation for what it truly is, rather than letting it stay hidden in shadow. It can also recommend lending your light to others, acting as a beacon for those traversing their own starless nights. On the other hand, lighter can denote burning bridges. It can suggest wiping the slate clean, consigning everything you've known and everything you've been to the figurative fire in order to be reborn anew. That's my spirit animal, by the way, the phoenix, being born anew. It can represent burning with passion, be that your craft, your career, your community, or even a passion of a sexual nature. Lastly, it can represent instigation, the single spark that sets a powder keg alight. What? Light it up, wild children, wild children. And I mean that, like I said, in the best possible way. So let's go on to our 5th Spirit Tarot, which is the pile here we have. And we're going to start by asking what the current energy is for my pile 3 team. Although, like I said, I kind of get a sense of you guys, gals, and all manner of pals. Let's see. I'm just getting such artistry and like I'm getting youngest child syndrome, you know what I mean? Like not the oldest one like me where you gotta be all serious and take care of everybody else, but like younger child, like mom's gonna love you no matter what. Anyway, I digress. So what's your current energy at work? What is the current energy at work for my pile 3? Okay, this is my solar plexus chakra team. What do we got going on here? Oh, there we go. So your current energy, my dears, is, oh, just spinning around. King of Wands, look at you. Fantastic. 6 of Wands, all right. And Ace of Cups, I love this. Your current energy in your career and finances is, I mean, you're passionate about it. You are acting, you're moving, you're shaking. You are progressing with this King of Wands. Like you're not holding back, you're giving it your all. 6 of Wands, you're seeing results. Like things are going great. And honestly, you love what you do. So, you know, I'll ask you the same thing I asked pile 2, which is, why are you even here? I mean, I'm happy you're here. Like, subscribe, share, etc. But, like, you don't need my help. You're on this. Like, you don't need Spirit's help. You got this. You are on fire. So I'm wondering, why are you here? Ten of Swords. Oh, okay. Okay. Wow. It's almost like on the outside, maybe this is what it is. On the outside, you're all passion and success, and it appears you really love what you're doing, you know, but you want to kind of, I hate to say it, but like burn it down. Like you're covering up maybe some of this dying inside. It's like, I'm getting a sense of like you're doing community theater, but you really want to do Broadway. Like, yeah, you're happy with the community theater, but you really, really want to do Broadway. So you're like, you're not reaching the pinnacle of success that you want. And it's not for lack of a passion in what you do. It's not for lack of success in what you do right now or love for what you do. But you're also dying a little bit inside because you feel like you're not fully realized. You know, maybe you're an artist and you just feel like you haven't gotten enough recognition, or people aren't really seeing you for what, you know, seeing the art you're creating for what you're intending, which is an interesting thing to, you know, put such great things out there in the world and then still feel like, you know, an emptiness inside, like there's something missing. Huh. So I'm going to ask about the challenges. What are the challenges here? Page of Cups. Okay, 1 second. Let me keep getting some more there and figure this out. Okay, 7 of Swords. Yeah. 2 of Wands. Oh, you got 5 cards. Knight of Pentacles and King of Swords. Okay, so what I'm seeing here with the this setup, the Page of Cups is, again, you feel like you could be reaching for more, but there's something holding you back. And I don't know if it's self-doubt. You know, it seems like it might be self-doubt, but I'm getting more of like someone else in your life is pushing that self-doubt on you. It's almost like, okay, I know this is a very specific example, but it's almost like you have always said, well, I want to move to New York to really explore what I could achieve there. Let's just say in my culinary career or my artistic career, my culinary arts career. I don't know if, maybe I said that twice. Your Broadway career, like you feel like you could do it. You feel like you could be successful, but you're either plagued by self-doubt, or with this King of Swords, you have like a parental figure or like somebody you really respect kind of shooting that down and saying, well, that doesn't make sense with the swords. That's illogical. Why would you do that? Like, you're happy here. You got things going on here. Why would you shake everything up and do that? And so I feel like you have, with the 7 of Swords, felt like you need to like sneak off or hide your true feelings about things. You know, in some sense, you're like building a nest. You're building up like, maybe you're building like a portfolio of your art. You're really just tying things together, like the carpet in The Big Lebowski. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. But it's almost like you're still planning and plotting and looking forward to a potential change in a very dramatic way. And with the 2 of Wands, you know, you do see a change. There are options here for you. Like, do I be the, you know, do I sit there and be the candle where I'm, you know, just waiting for the spark? Or am I the match, just only being useful when I'm in conjunction with the candle? You know, I think you're very much in a sense of, where does my best bet lie? And am I building for nothing? Like, again, in the example I gave where you're maybe in community theater, you're building a portfolio of your works in that community theater. But, you know, is it enough to make that decision to move forward? Especially when you've got people in your life that are telling you, well, that doesn't make any sense. With this Knight of Pentacles, it's been like a slow and steady process for you. And, you know, you can see this individual has like a prosthetic leg. So in a sense, it's almost like you feel like you've been kind of kneecapped about things where, you know, you've made efforts perhaps in the past that didn't go well. And so the challenge here is overcoming your self-doubt, the doubt imposed by others, you know, trying to find your worth and saying that you deserve more than that, and almost saying, I need to get out of covering up what I really want. I need to focus on the things I really do want and not let myself be held back. This has been a long time coming, irrespectively of what this authoritative figure in my life may think. So what are the advantages that my team here has in pile 3, which is that, oh Lord, solar plexus chakra, you know, that very, not just, not heart directly, but like right into that heart, like that gut feeling. Like, what is your gut? Like, what is that advantage you feel in your gut that keeps you going? Because I'm getting like a sadness in some way that doesn't make sense to other people, because again, it looks like you're having a great time and you're enjoying yourself, but there's this 10 of Swords that's in there, this hiding energy, you know, this self-doubt or doubt, again, criticism from others that is very painful. So what's that feeling in your gut? What's the advantage? Okay, look, you've got the 7 of Pentacles. You know, there's going to be a new start here for you. Oops. There's going to be a new start. And look, I didn't mean to push those aside, but it's almost like this new start is actually affecting and pushing all these other things from the challenges to the side. And it's the 7 of Pentacles, but look, it says peace right there, right? It's almost like you have some level of peace, and also, you know, terrible puns. But, you know, I see pruning shears there. You're kind of pruning away things that maybe didn't work in the past. And you're getting ready to see growth and development. That's your advantage. Like, you're not giving up. You planted a seed a long time ago. And you're seeing it there. Look, 10 of Pentacles. It's coming to fruition. You know, you're going to see success in the realm of your career that you've been looking for. You know, you have your eye on the prize is what I'm feeling. You can see a future where this all works out. 5 of Cups, you know, I feel like you're going to regret it if you don't take this chance. And I think you know that too. You know, I feel like we had the 10 of Pentacles here with this house, and here we have the 5 of Cups like being washed away. It's a house being washed away. Like, you're going to regret letting this dream, this potential solid future, a successful future with everything you could possibly want, especially financially, personal fulfillment. You're going to regret it if you don't take that chance, if you don't let things that you've built on before take shape. Knight of Swords, I think you're going to take some pretty swift action. Your advantage is, you're getting away from that. You're like, you know what? I know I have some doubts, but no, I'm going to keep going because I know what my truth is. I know what it is. I'm coming in hot, and you know what it is. And 4 of Pentacles, you're not letting it go. That's the advantage. Like, some people, you know, they are faced with challenges or doubt or even just the poo-pooing of others, and they just give up. But not you. You know, this has been a long time coming, and something you really poured your heart and soul into, and I can't stress this enough. It's something that gives you peace, but, you know, so you love it. You love what you do, and you've just been gradually building. Again, I'm seeing like building that portfolio. You know, it's not just something new that you've been doing. You really are ready to burn it down because you're tired of hiding it. You're tired of selling yourself short. So other things from the universe, 2 of Pentacles, you are going to have to make a choice. You are going to have to balance out like what you feel with what reality is. Like, I'm getting a sense of also be grounded. Like, if you've never taken a dance class in your life, you're probably not going to end up in the ballet. I'm just saying, you know, that's what I'm getting from that is like lean into those things that you've built upon, that you've constantly been interested in. Don't stray from the past, but you still got to choose to do it. You still got to choose to move. Anything else here? Death? Yeah, it's going to be a change. It's absolutely going to be a change for you. But what I'm seeing is like the ancestors behind you, the people in your family, the people that, and I'm getting like family of choice, not necessarily family of like lineage, but your family of choice. They are behind you on this. You know, I think Spirit is saying you can do this. Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, look how happy you are. You know, you're building that foundation. You're stable. You're solid. You are comfortable in your decision. I think Spirit's telling me if you make this decision, if you do progress with this 2 of Pentacles, you make that choice to follow, you know, you are actually going to reap successful results. What else we got? Temperance. Yeah, you've been very much patient, balanced. You've taken a very rational approach. I don't think you're being over dramatic. I don't think you're being like overestimating. I think you've been very pragmatic. And what I'm getting is don't let that pragmatism hold you back. Don't disguise pragmatism as fear. I mean, don't like fear, like do that. Hold on a second. I gotta get a doohickey here. So don't, yeah, I'm getting like, it's very easy to say you're being pragmatic and reasonable and rational when the reality is you're actually being afraid of change. And the 21 that's the World card. I had to cover up some nudity on that. You know, that's, you know, things are coming full circle. It's the end of a cycle. You're getting ready. You're at a jumping off point to start something new and different. The universe is saying if you have the courage to jump off and even travel is part of what I'm seeing there, then you will see a new beginning for yourself. So what I'm getting here is like, have that self-confidence. Don't settle. This is something you've been looking for career-wise for a very long time. And ignore the naysayers. You know, you've thought it through. You know what you're doing. You know what you're capable of. And I'm feeling like, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. All right. So I want to get a card from the universe on some advice. This is from the Chubby Witch's Night In. So maybe some advice there on how to process things emotionally as you go through these changes and pursue these career opportunities, perhaps. I mean, you can see right there, it's like everything's flying out. Like there's a lot of support. That's what I'm feeling. There's a lot of support. And that goes back to, again, that family of choice that you have. All right, so let's talk about this. What would Spirit say would be like something to help out along this process? Let's see, what would Spirit say? What you got for us, Spirit, for my pile 3 folks? What you got? Pile 3. Oh, there it is. Okay. You got reality check needed, number 27. All right. Got some moths there in the background, some change. You got a beautiful Siamese kitten there. So let's see what it says. Number 27, reality check needed. Perhaps this is some of that grounding, you know, be optimistic and take action, but also be aware that it's a risky endeavor. Let's see. Okay, it says, it's easy to feel disconnected in a busy, technology-driven society like this, from Mother Earth, from yourself, or perhaps even from both. I swear I'm not one of those witches who hates on technology, okay? But there's no denying the fact that it can get so extreme that it distracts you from other important things, not limited to your personal relationships or the non-technology aspects of your magical practice. As a witch, you might be regularly grounding your energy via meditation already. But if you pull this card, then you need an extra dose or 2 or 4. If you've totally fallen off your meditation routine lately, or if you've never done a meditation before, then it's time to get the floor pillow out and start. If you're doing 5-minute meditations, maybe bump it up to 10. If you're doing 10-minute meditations, maybe bump it up to 20, and so on and so forth. It's time to remember yourself and your roots. And again, remembering your roots, remember what you really wanted here. Remember the foundations, that you've been laying, and follow those. So, but a reality check, you know, the fact that it says that, it's checking in with yourself is what I'm getting. Have that reality check with yourself and ask yourself, am I really like totally fulfilled, or is there a little bit of me that is sort of dying inside by not, fulfilling what I really wanted to do? All right, one more from Spirit, please. All right, what do we got? We actually got 2. All right, I am ready to accept even more abundance in my life, and it is safe for me to accept money. So let's take a look at what that says. I am ready to accept even more abundance. And that kind of goes, by the way, just on its face. Like I said, you were actually successful here, but there's more abundance with that chance taking. Let's see. I am ready. Let's see. Here it is on page 29. All right. This money magic mantra is a powerful invitation for financial and energetic expansion. It signals to the universe and yourself that you are open to receiving greater wealth, prosperity, and opportunities than you previously thought were possible. Look at that. Beautiful. Like existing, possible, right? Also, it says Jupiter kind of energy expansion, which might indicate you're a Sagittarius or have Sagittarian energy. It's not required. It's just how I'm seeing it. Often we unconsciously limit the abundance we feel we deserve. This can be due to self-doubt, past conditioning, fear of change, or limited perspective, or naysayers. I added that part. Right now marks the time where that permanently changes for you. The universe knows unlimited ways to send you more abundance. It's hyper-powerful supercomputer next to the processing abilities of our human brains. When you work with these words, you're breaking through your known and unknown limitations and aligning yourself with the infinite possibilities of prosperity. This affirmation works on more than just the financial level of our being. It's also a welcome invitation to supportive relationships, fulfilling work, access to resources, and personal growth. Welcome prosperity in all its forms and believe that there is always room for more in your life. Always room for more, right? You thought you had it all? Always room for more. You're not being selfish. You're just allowing the very best into your life to provide for yourself, your loved ones, and your community. By acknowledging that you are worthy of greater abundance, you align your thoughts and actions with the flow of wealth, opening yourself up to receiving and enjoying the resources, opportunities, and financial freedom aligned with your highest good. Beautiful. Okay, it is safe for me to accept money. Let's see what that says. It's on page 114. Okay. All right. Having money and accepting money are different things. Think about a time when a friend or family member tried to give you money. Did you receive it with thanks, without guilt or shame, or did it feel uncomfortable? Did you genuinely accept the money, or did it feel heavy like it wasn't yours? You may have that one family member who tries to shame you when you accept money from them or places expectations on you that come along with the boon. What about accepting money for your art or talents? Art or talents? Charging what you're worth, receiving a pay raise or bonus. Accepting money and prosperity should feel fantastic, but often we place conditions on it, and by extension, conditions on it flowing to us in the first place. This also affects your self-worth. When you work with the money magic mantra, you're consistently affirming that it's safe to accept money with no conditions attached. You don't have to prove you've earned or deserve it because both are inherently true. With these words, you're permitting yourself to receive wealth without hesitation, guilt, or fear. Beginning in this moment, you're opening the channels for financial flow and dismantling the subconscious blocks that might prevent you from fully receiving financial prosperity. Shift from a place of resistance to receptivity, aligning your energy with abundance. Creating a positive relationship with receiving allows you to feel secure and worthy of the money that comes your way. And I do believe there will be money that comes your way. You're grounded. You know what you're doing. You've been doing this for a long time. You're ready to come out of your shell. You're ready to basically burn it down, if you will, and start something new. So I am very proud of you, my pile 3 folks. I appreciate you joining me. Look at me up at tinlatarot.com. Book a reading. I'd love to do a personal reading for you. I've been doing a bunch of those lately. And I will see you next time on Work It Wednesday. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.